What's up, everybody? Before we start today's video, I just want to say I'm really excited because I hit my first 100 subscribers. I know that's not a lot to most people, with thousands and millions of subscribers, but I like to celebrate all achievements. And stick around to the end of the video because we have a giveaway really to commemorate that achievement. And, so check it out. All right, let's get into the video. KRK Beats back here at Out the Box Studios, and we have another video for you guys. Today we're looking at Arturia's Keylab 61 Mark II and the Keylab series. They all share basically the same features. The Mark II series, you have the 61, 49, well, actually I should say 49, 61, and then there's an 88 key, which has a few other features that the other two don't. But essentially, what you have here, like I said, this is a keypad controller. And for those who may not know, there aren't internal sounds in this device. All of the sounds come from your computer or your DAW, and this essentially controls them. You have your pads here. You have Transpose keys. This section here, and I'm going to show some more footage, some B-roll footage, allows you to scroll through your features on the screen. You have your faders and knobs, and that's pretty much it. You have your pitch wheel, mode, and there's some other features that I'm going to get into and talk about a little later in the video, but I'm really excited to detail this one. I've been using this for about 6-7 months now. I switched out from a Novation 49 key controller, and I'll show a comparison of that. And one of the reasons why is the 61 key versus 49 keys. When you're producing or doing chords or any type of production, it's a little easier to be able to go down here in this lower octave while you're playing the higher octave as well. Now there is a transpose as far as going up and down your octaves. You can move that up and down just like you could on the 49 controller I have from Novation, but you're not able to really simultaneously get those lower octave as well as the higher octave notes at the same time. So that's one benefit, streamlining your workflow. But there are some other benefits to this unit that drew me to it. First is the metal construction. Now essentially I thought the entire unit was metal, which this entire centerpiece is, but these corner bracket pieces or corner pieces have a plastic bumper, I guess you would say, and there's kind of a wood grain. I'm not sure if it's genuine wood, but it looks real. A wood grain inlay on the side with the Arturia logo in chrome. So I really like the look of it. Now this also comes in white. I really thought the white one looked better, but I have a studio with the all black decor. So I still probably could have pulled it off, but I was just thinking in my head, okay, a unit like this that you're gonna be touching and moving those faders, hitting those drum pads after years and years, because I do keep my equipment for quite a while, you're gonna have fingerprints and smudges, and that would drive me insane. So I just went with the black, and I think it looks great. It's a much lower profile than the Novation that I had, as well as, it was an Impulse, by the way, Novation Impulse. I was trying to think of the name. As well as, what interests me is when I looked at the dimensions for this unit, it was actually about the same as the 49 key, believe it or not, because they moved the pitch and modulation wheels up here and added the extra keys. Another feature I liked about this was the pads, 16 pads, and you're able to control, because I use Reason a lot more. You can use that when you're doing the drum pads, and Reason, I don't have it pulled up, but their internal instrument has a 16 pad layout, whereas the Novation had just 8. Now actually, this is the Keylab 61 Mark II. You have the Mark II Essentials, or I think it's Keylab Essentials, which is basically a step down from this, the Keylab II series. The difference is you have basically half of everything. You have half the half the pads. I was gonna say pads and faders, but you have half of those. It's full plastic construction, and it's about half the price. So just keep that in mind if that's something you're interested in. Now, some of the benefits. One of the biggest things that drew me to the Keylab, aside from the construction and the look, was the fact that you get about 6,500 sounds in this unit. And it's really nice because getting this, you get, well, let me just look on the website and I'll tell you instead of trying to guess. So you get Analog Lab, which has about 6,500 sounds. You have Ableton Live Lite, and you have Piano 5. And Piano 5 is really nice. I don't have it pulled up, but essentially in Piano 5, you can configure the sound of the piano, how it's actually mic'd. Let me see, I'll pull one up. Pull it up, and while that's pulling up, I can just talk. But you can actually set up how the piano is mic'd to change the sound, and it sounds real. It sounds like a real piano. I know there's a lot of different piano synths out there. So yeah, you can see here that you can actually change the mic setup to different configurations. You have close mode, under lid, studio AB, classical AB, player. So you have these different modes, and you can change the room, the master dynamics on this. It's really, really nice. And obviously you're not going to be able to tell through the video, but just so you can kind of have an idea of what that's like. Now also, you have Analog Lab. Now the nice thing about Analog Lab, again, you have so many sounds featured in here. Just to, hold on, let me pull up, switch to Analog Lab, open that up. You got pianos in here. You can go by instrument type, and what I like on the home page, not only can you go by type, you can go by designers. So they have specific sound designers if you're familiar with one that you like. You also have, let me see. Just to give you an idea of some of the sounds. There's a lot of different sounds in here that you can choose from. They even have some effects, sound effects, which are nice to use. Let me see, what's this one? Something crazy. I mean, there's really, look at some more of the sounds that are in Analog Lab. I didn't really find some great sounds during the shooting the video, so I just wanted to kind of double back and just go over some sounds. The first sound I pulled up, now I have Reason open here. Let's see. And I believe this is a pad. Yeah, this is called After Pad. So, like I said, you can see here, these are all of just pad sounds. I mean, you got hundreds right there. So I just did a quick little chord progression to let you kind of hear what that sounds like. I believe that's E minor, diatonic, I think. I can't remember what I did, but just so you can kind of hear, that's how you can really, start building the song. So that was one sound, that's a pad. And then here's the next sound. I think this is called Ambient Drone. It's under electronic pianos. So again, you can just see here, all of these sounds are electronic piano sounds, and that specific one is Ambient Drone. But just to give you an idea, those are only two of the instruments. You know, you have 20 or 30 instruments. You have the different sound designers, and you can see the designers' names here. So this is a different chord progression. I believe this is in the key of A. I can't remember what I did, but just to give you another idea, you know, nothing super major. I just want to kind of show some more of the sounds, as well as a closer look at the MIDI controller I spoke about earlier. This is where you would change your device settings, and you have your templates over here, and then you have your mapping here that you can set up, and you know, all of the names and specific encoding here. And then also I wanted to talk about, which I didn't talk about, Arturia's Software Center. And this is where you would come in, you create an account, and this is where you actually download and update all of your software, as well as register products. So just a quick look at that. Another feature I didn't talk about is there's a Chord Memory function. Actually, you have the pad, you have Chord Memory, and then you have Chord Transpose. So if you go to pad, you can actually use the pad to play different chords, which I'm doing right now. Sounds crazy, but just to give you an idea, it helps you with your chord progressions and building them faster. So you can actually use the pads in pad mode to do that. So just like I said, just a couple more quick looks into Arturia, the Keylab 61 Mark II. All right. You know, there's really no end to all the sounds that you have within here. And if you're starting out and you want something that you can, out the box, no pun intended, begin to, you know, really create, this is a great option, because ultimately you have a DAW with live, you have sounds, over 6,000 sounds, and you also have the option to use this device with external MIDI devices. Now, again, this doesn't contain sounds within it, but the nice thing about the packaging, like I said, you get all of that straight out of the box when you set it up. Now, some other features I don't have in front of me, but one, I guess I'll say pros and cons to this unit. So the Novation Impulse, when I got that was probably almost 8 to 10 years ago. It came with a feature that allowed you, like I use Reason, it actually allowed you to, right out of the gate, map, it was called Auto map your entire DAW, and you were able to right away use all of the pads, all the faders, without doing any MIDI assignments. This shares some of that. I believe it has set up for Live, Cubase, and a few other DAWs, but unfortunately it doesn't have an automatic setup for Reason or FL, two of the biggest DAWs out there. Come on, Arturia, hook it up. But what is nice is that you can go in, and I'll open up the actual control center, the MIDI control center. You can go in and adjust this to work with your DAW, and it is fairly easy. There was a template. Now this is the controller. I'm not going to go through all of this setup because it's pretty intensive, but you get direction on how to do it when you order the device, and there's some great videos that show as well. I just don't want to get into all of that for this video. I like to do brief overviews and kind of give a detailed look at all of the different aspects. So maybe later on I'll do a specific video for that. But you have your encoder modes down here. You have device settings, and it's not doing it right now, but there's like this nice little party trick, I guess you'd say. It has Vegas mode. All of the lights will, when it's in standby mode, will kind of flash and do a little show. Another feature, small feature, but kind of a big feature, my Novation did not have an on and off switch, and that sounds kind of dumb, but this runs off of your computer's USB power, but there's also an on and off switch on this device. So if you're using your computer, like with the Impulse, whenever the computer was on, I would have to unplug the device to turn it off. With this, you can actually turn the device off or back on with the computer on. So it's nice if you're walking away, you want to just leave the rest of your studio on or whatever, you can turn the device off. As far as just getting back to the mapping situation, I had a little ADD moment right there. You know, it maps fairly easy. Now the software that it does have auto mapping internally for, I know it has Ableton, Cubase, Logic, I believe, and one other, but it doesn't have it out the box for Reason and FL. So you have to check about that if you use those two DAWs, which I personally use. Now I was able to go through, you can create settings, and there was a setting that I created for Reason, so when I do that, I don't know if you can see the colors change here, and then I have there's a default setting, then I have one for FL. I'm going to put a link in the description for, there is a really nice video and a producer who actually created a preset setting for FL. You can go to his page, download, go through the directions. He actually talks you through how to upload it into the memory, because this has a memory bank here, and that's what I was trying to get to and kept forgetting. But it has a memory bank, and here, you know, I have one for Reason, one for FL, and once you upload it into here, it stores it, and you can bring that back up when you open, and then all you have to do is in each of your respective DAWs, when you click on however you would map say a fader to whichever fader you want, all you have to do is click and select, and then it'll set it up. But it wasn't the easiest. It wasn't like the Novation Impulse with auto map. Literally, I open Reason and you just click on whatever you wanted, you know, move the fader, and it would automatically select it. This does that to some extent, just takes a little bit more work, but keep that in mind, because there are other obviously manufacturers, Native Instruments, there's a few others that Impulse or Novation I should say, that have keypad controllers and audio, but you have to look at the DAW situation, the mapping situation. Some of those, and if you know encoding and how to do that, it's not that hard, but you have to go through and set each parameter for your DAW. Now, the reason I say that is you may just want to check which manufacturer makes a controller that works specifically with your DAW. As I said, this one doesn't with the two DAWs that I use, but it was fairly easy to set it up. So just keep that in mind. Another thing, or another reason that I switched to this, was the Transpose keys. That seems really simple, you know, stopping and starting versus pressing the space bar. But when you're recording, if you record yourself, it's really nice to be able to stop, record, go back from the Transpose keys. And these work fairly well. As far as FL and Reason, I had a little bit of issue getting the fast forward and rewind keys to work, but it's not a big deal, really not a big deal at all. And on the Impulse, when I updated from, I forget which version of Mac OS, it no longer supported the auto read. or the auto mapping on the impulse. So that was really, that's the reason that you get these devices. And if the parameters don't work, or they're very difficult to work, it kind of becomes pointless and you're going to be very frustrated. So again, that's the controller, MIDI control center. And then again, you have Analog Lab. Like I said, really nice how they have it laid out. You can look, through instruments, through types, or through designers as far as your sounds, because there is over 6,000 sounds. I could be on here all day just going through some of the sounds, and they sound really, really good. They sound high quality, and they work well with the controller. Another point, the keys. Now I will say this, my Impulse, no key controller other than, and I'll talk about the 88 key one, Keylab, and a few other manufacturers. I believe M Audio has a hammer action, and what that is, if you sit at a piano and you play an actual piano, there's a hammer that's moving and striking, and there's all type of mechanics, so you feel that when you press the keys, and there's nothing like playing a real piano, that key bed. So they try to emulate that in this. There's that sound again. But they try to emulate that feel, and I'm not gonna say it's bad, but it's not the same. The Novation had a bit better key bed, because this, I don't know the name of it, but these keys on here are kind of open at the bottom. They're your standard kind of synth keys. I mean, they're high quality, good keys. It's just the Novation I had, they were actually closed. They more resembled, if you look at the key bed of a piano, they really resembled that more, and they had a bit more of that hammer action. It's not an actual hammer striking to make the note like on a real piano, but that feel is important when you're playing. It really helps. It's just, if you play keys, then you know that feel. It's not, I don't want to say it's bad. It's not as great on this. I was a little disappointed because there is some movement in the key, and on a piano, the keys are, they're very firm, I guess you would say. I was trying to choose my words right, but they're solid. We'll put it like that. I actually have an upright piano in my room, in the other room, and it's always nice to sit down and play that. And obviously I don't have the 6,000 sounds in there, but this gets the job done. It's a good key bed, but it's not quite on the level of a hammer action key bed. Now, I mentioned previously, they do make a Keylab 88, Mark II 88 key. I believe that only comes in black, as I said. If I didn't say it earlier, this comes in white and black. And that has the hammer action keys. Again, really nice, still not, it's like a notch down from an actual piano. Nothing can fully imitate the feel of a real high quality piano key bed. So just keep that in mind, but it's not a deal breaker. It gets the job done. It's really nice as far as the feel of it. I'm just going through some of the sounds again. I don't know. Okay, that hurts my ears. These are just effects. All the wrong sounds for this video, but you get the idea. I mean, there's lots of choices in there, as well as being able to control your drum pads in your DAW. So I think it's a good deal, good setup. If you're looking at the price, I believe it's like around $4.99, and that's with, keep in mind, all of those sounds. So you can spend, I believe Omnisphere is like almost 500, and that's just the sounds. Now with Omnisphere there's a lot more sounds, but my point being, if you're starting out or even if you've, been making music for a long time, it's really nice to have that option. Now, as I said, you do have other manufacturers. I know Novation, like I said, Native Instruments, they have now their unit, their 61 key unit, I believe is a bit more. So that's another thing to keep in mind. And that unit has an all plastic design, but I do hear it gets some good reviews. So, there are options out there. I like the metal construction, the look, the feel of the Arturia Keylab MKII, as well as the white and black color options and the Analog Lab 5 software. As a package deal, it was really attractive and it really fit the studio well, being able to upgrade to that 61 key layout. So those are my thoughts on the Arturia Keylab MKII. Let me know in the comments what you guys are working on, what you think of if you have an Arturia product, because there are different products that they have, quite a few different. They do interfaces as well. I believe they're out of France. They make good products, so let me know what you think about that. I said at the start, I have a surprise. I'm really excited because I hit my first 100 subscribers, and I know people are probably laughing at that, but I celebrate all accomplishments, all achievements. I don't really do videos every week, which I'm trying to get back to doing, but the reason being, obviously I want likes, I want views, but I enjoy the conversation, the community that the channel has created. And my whole thing from the start, like I said, Out the Box Studio is about positivity, about encouragement, just bringing people together on a positive note. So that's really what we're all about. And to celebrate that accomplishment, what I'm doing is I'm actually doing a free giveaway of a pair of ISO Acoustics ISO 130 speaker monitor stands. And I actually did a video, one of my first videos was about ISO acoustic stands. So like I said, I'm doing a giveaway for these, and what you have to do is obviously subscribe to the channel, go to Out the Box, the Instagram page, and subscribe or follow, I should say, and then go to KRK Beats, official KRK Beats on Instagram, follow, and on either of those platforms or on YouTube, just drop a comment in the comment section or DM me, say what's up, something positive, nothing crazy hopefully, and I'll take note of that, and in a month I'm gonna pick one of you guys out there, one of the comments, and then I'll get in touch with you and send that out. So again, like I said, I appreciate everybody on this channel, all of the comments, all of the subscribers. I look to grow to 100,000 more, however many. Again, like I said, my point is just, it is about getting content out there. Obviously you want views, but like I said, it's about building the channel and just being encouraging to everybody, man. Let's build each other up. Constructive criticism aside, that is necessary as well, but I always try and leave a positive note at the end of the video. It's not easy to try new things, to work on new goals, to push boundaries, but you can do it. There's nobody that can stop you other than yourself, so don't do that, and never think that, well, you can't do what the next person did. If I can do it, if that person can do it, you can as well. And don't worry about competing or comparing yourself to others. Do what you do to the best of your ability, and you will achieve your goals. So again, for Out the Box Studios, this has been a look at the Arturia Keylab 61. Like I said, hit me up on Instagram if you would like. Please subscribe, hit that like button, notification bell, and I'll be looking for you guys' comments for the giveaway, again, for the ISO Acoustics ISO 130 speaker stands. All right, peace.